Israeli forces have intensified their ground operations in the Gaza Strip, focusing on the Rafah area. The IDF has begun attacking Hamas's Rafah Brigade, and various Palestinian militias have reported clashes in neighborhoods like Al-Tanur and Jainiah. Since advancing into eastern Rafah on May 7, Israeli forces have killed over 80 Palestinian fighters. The IDF Air Force killed a Palestinian Islamic Jihad fighter who was responsible for logistics in the Rafah Brigade. Palestinian militias continue to fire mortars and rockets at Israeli forces near the Rafah crossing area. Israeli forces have recovered the body of a hostage in the Gaza Strip. The IDF spokesperson announced on May 18th that Hamas fighters had killed the hostage during the October 7 attack and taken the body into Gaza. On May 17, Israeli forces recovered the bodies of 3 other hostages and located the bodies using information from detained Palestinian fighters. There are still 128 hostages remaining in Gaza, with 39 declared dead. This recovery operation underscores the ongoing efforts and challenges faced by Israeli forces in their bid to secure hostages taken by militant groups. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan has stated that the United States believes Hamas withdrew from the latest ceasefire negotiations in hopes of increasing pressure on Israel to end the war. During a meeting with foreign ambassadors, Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar indicated that a deal was not desired. The latest round of talks in Cairo on May 8 concluded without agreement, with both Israeli and Hamas representatives signaling that negotiations had stalled. Hamas attributed its withdrawal to ongoing Israeli military operations in Rafah, highlighting the fragile nature of ceasefire discussions in the conflict. Palestinian militants have condemned the U.S.-constructed pier meant to facilitate humanitarian aid shipments into Gaza. The Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine and the Palestinian Mujahideen movement have expressed concerns over potential misuse of the pier for actions unrelated to aid. They have called for Palestinian supervision of all ports and border crossings. Despite these concerns, aid trucks began transporting supplies from the pier into Gaza on May 17th. The United Kingdom supplied the aid, with coordination in Cyprus for inspection. The World Food Programme is tasked with distributing the aid to agencies or directly to those in need. Palestinian militias conducted at least 2 indirect fire attacks from the Gaza Strip into Israel on May 18th. The Palestinian Islamic Jihad fired 10 rockets targeting Ashkelon, with 5 intercepted by Israeli forces. The Democratic Front for the Liberation of Palestine also launched rockets at an IDF site east of Rafah. These attacks underscore the persistent threat posed by militant groups in Gaza and the ongoing tension between Palestinian factions and Israeli military forces. Despite Israeli efforts to curb these attacks, the frequency and intensity of rocket fire highlight the challenges in achieving lasting security and peace. Israeli forces have engaged Palestinian fighters in multiple locations in the West Bank since May 17th. Clashes occurred near Nablus, where Palestinian fighters used improvised explosive devices. On May 17th, the IDF Air Force killed a Palestinian Islamic Jihad Jenin battalion commander in an airstrike on a Piadrations room in the Jenin refugee camp. The commander was reportedly responsible for several attacks in 2023. Palestinian media confirmed the death of another PYJ fighter in the same strike. These incidents highlight the increasing volatility in the West Bank as Israeli forces target militant leaders and infrastructure. Lebanese Hezbollah has conducted at least 14 attacks into northern Israel since May 17th. These attacks aim to deter Israel from conducting a ground operation into Lebanon and prepare for an extended conflict. Hezbollah's actions are part of a broader strategy to increase pressure on Israel and expel U.S. forces from Syria. The attacks involved a range of tactics, including missile strikes and border skirmishes. The frequency and intensity of these attacks highlight Hezbollah's significant role in the regional conflict and the escalating tensions along the Israel-Lebanon border.